Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to another episode of Sketchman Draws. So today we're going to talk about how to draw flowers. We're going to start with the sunflower. And by the way, I don't know the name of all the flowers. I just know the well-known ones. So I just know how to draw them. So this is a straight-on view. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to capture the outlines of all the petals and the important things that I would help me make this visually identifiable as a sunflower. And then I'll go in with the details because because it's a straight on view, I don't really need to worry about the inclination, the angle, or the perspective. And so the thing that you need to understand about flowers is that it's organic. So random shapes really help, and when it comes to using pictures, don't worry if you can't get really the exact shape, because that's not the point of a reference. For me, reference is right there to give you like that randomness that you may not be able to come up with yourself, like because sometimes when you draw something repeatedly, you tend to create patterns, so that so having that kind of picture of the real thing can help you achieve that sort of random organic look. So you can, for the middle part, like you can go in and take as much time as you want to have the same level of detail that you see in the picture, but that's not the point. Like the point is to actually just to get enough details as you need to make it look like a sunflower. Of course, if you are working on a big piece, of course it will be easier because you can go in and take your time and but what you need to pay attention when you're trying to draw these quick sketches is that to pay attention to the shapes of the thing that you're drawing. So if you've seen my video on how to draw trees, the texture is created by like for example, if you're looking at this thing in the middle, you don't need to zoom in, but you can tell that those dots are round shaped, right? So which means that those round shapes will be the marks that you'll be making to create that kind of texture. So same thing with bricks. Like bricks, if you look at the pieces are rectangles, right? Because they're bricks. So the rectangles are the shapes that you'll be using to create the texture, the depth, the shadow, and so on. So yeah, you just need to pay attention to the surface that you're trying to draw and what are the closest simple shapes that you could think of. And for the petals here, so when you're trying to create that shadow and to try to illusion of that three-dimensional form, you have to flick it, like so you have to push hard when you start, so which is the darkest area. So and then just like draw outward, and all this keeping in mind the direction and the outline. So for example, if your petal is sort of this kind of flame, sort of oval shaped, right? Well, the lines can't be completely straight, like because that would not look organic, right? So you need to kind of follow around those lines to make it fit with the outline of the petals. And here it's just going at different passes to actually create darker values, and so that just to make that look three-dimensional. Again, I'm doing here another pass just to really push the shadow between the edge of between the like the gap that you see between the petals. Like I said, I stopped here, but you can always continue, and especially in the middle, you can go on with more details. Of course, I know that, I mean, so this video is about drawing flowers. Of course, like the thing that people love about flowers is the colors. So of course, it would be great if you could add colors. So here's a different one. So here, as opposed to the previous picture, it's not straight on view. It's we are looking at it a little bit from the side, so we need to keep in mind the curvature of the petals, and so we can achieve that with the lines. So, and once we are happy with the outline of the whole flower and the direction, the angle that we've chosen, we can go back in and add the textures, the shadow, and again do several passes so that it has that three-dimensional look. So I don't know how to call them, but you see those lines in the petals. So I usually refer to them as veins, even though like for example, when you're looking at a bark, or if you look at a wood texture, you see those lines. So I call them veins. So so for example, here the veins on these petals. Again, speaking of color, since we are using black and white, okay, we don't really worry about that. But if you're using color, you would add like a light color for the petal, like that really light rose, and then you would go back in. So for example, if you're using watercolor, you would put like a first layer of pink color that you see, and then you can go back in because it's very thin. Maybe like a color pencil with like a pink, and again do the same motion, which is like in the beginning you push a little bit hard, and then so you get this thick to thin lines, and then you can go back in again with the watercolor, and then you do those dark areas. So here what we are going to do all that, but in black and white. So essentially I'm just like really touching lightly. I'm not pushing too hard, and also I'm going to use like smudge. So I'm doing this digitally on Clip Studio Paint, the software that I'm using. So there is a brush there that is called Blend that can smudge the pencil marks that you're making. So of course the easy way to do this at home is to tear a little piece of paper and do the lines first, and then smudge them with that little piece of paper to make it smooth, and so that to not make those lines that obvious. The other thing you can do is use earbuds, is a earbuds, I call them, the Q-tips, and you can use that also to smudge pencil marks. Or if you are lucky, if you have an art store, they'll have like a stump that professionals use. That is basically the perfect thing to smudge pencil markers. So again, here I'm doing several passes, and like in each pass, I'm trying to go darker, so it creates this. And again, I right from the beginning, like when establishing those outlines, we know that what the shape we are going to achieve here. So I mean, the students told me that this is a daisy. Like I said, I don't know the names of the flowers. Here this is a little bit difficult because it has this view that I was trying, this angle, so we are looking at it from below, so that I was trying to capture. I think like during the workshop I sort of failed, but then here I tried to do my best. And again, that's the thing, try to capture, for example, the flower. Of course, it's important to know the individual, like for example the petals, like how to draw them, but the overall shape, that's I think like a lot of what brings beauty to something. And as a matter of fact, like I'm thinking about doing a video on how to draw hands, but like how to design hands based on flower shapes. And I know it sounds strange, but like I feel like there is a lot of similarities between, especially in comic book art, how people draw hands in a pleasing way, and the pleasing way the flowers look. So so as you can see here, I am just like trying to figure out, okay, which petals, how can I draw the petals in a way that will suggest that I'm in a different angle, and so that's what I'm doing here. So again, in terms of petals texture, like here, this one was very simple because it's white and the light is very strong. So you don't really see the surface details of the petals. Like for example, you see it a little bit on the top petals there. Otherwise, there are shadows. Like there are like some petals are casting shadows over the other ones. And especially like the ones that I really enjoyed was I was really attracted to this picture in particular. So it's the middle part, especially those like round shapes. So I think that would be fun to draw. And actually, there is a beautiful pattern there, but that will take a lot of time to accomplish. And I mean, you could draw actually sort of create like a grid of like those rows, and then like draw those round shapes. So here, like for example, as I've explained in many of my other videos, like if you're drawing like a ball, right? Like so, if you're drawing like for example, like a billiard ball, of course the surface is really smooth, so you can draw with a straight line. But here, you have to create that like jagged edges to create that illusion that it's composed of many small circles instead of just a one big soft circle. But other than that, yeah, I think the main process is like trying to capture the outline to have that pleasing angle that flowers have, and then going in and doing different passes, paying attention to the shapes that will help us achieve those textures. And of course, like and you can always practice those shading when it comes to cross hatching. I might do some practice drawing videos where you will be able to see that. So other than that, like I'll just to thank you for watching the video. Please check out the description for all the details regarding this channel. Please share, like, and subscribe, and I'll just see you in the next video. This is Boris for Sketchman Draws, signing off.